In the past 2 years, I've managed and led a team of 10 door-to-door sales reps and helped coach hundreds of remote closers in the online space. Here's exactly what I've learned about being a sales leader. So in this video, you'll find out the exact steps that I took to effectively manage a sales team and a mistake that I made along the way. Let's get rocking and rolling. Here are a few pictures of myself managing sales teams on the actual doors. So what I had to do is I had to actually physically go on the doors, show each sales rep, beginner, how to actually sell, how to actually get sales in person, completely cold on the doors. Now, I did this with hundreds of sales reps. A lot of came and go. I fired a lot. I hired a lot. But at my peak, I managed a total of a team of 9 at the same time. Also, for the past year in the high ticket sales space, I've helped coach hundreds of reps and closers get into high ticket sales roles, increase their sales, and increase their closing rate. First one, your team is a direct reflection of yourself. So, question I have for you guys, if you had a team full of yourself, would you be happy? Would you be happy if you had a team of 10 yous or a team of 10 Toms, right? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Because if you have a team of 10, they're going to follow your habits. You're going to set the standard, right? They're going to think they can get away with your minimum standard. How's your organization? What are your habits like? Are you in shape? Do you go to the gym regularly? Are your habits something that you're proud of? This is super important. As a manager, as a sales leader, you set the precedent. You lead the way. What I was taught in the door-to-door sales game is closers and sales reps underneath you copy 50% of your good habits and what you can do well, and they copy 100% of what you do wrong and your mistakes. So it's super important before you get into management, before you even look to become a sales leader, is you look at yourself and think, am I someone who can lead? Am I someone who I would want to be on my team? Am I someone who I can confidently be proud of and have good habits? Second one, sometimes, funnily enough, in life, you've got to do things that don't suit you sometimes. I'll give you a story. So there was a girl on my team who I was mentoring called, let's say, for the video's sake, Jess, right? That's not her name. Jess was a top closer. She used to get a ton of sales. She brought in a ton of revenue for the team. But there was one day where she was sick. She had to go home urgently, and it was a 3-hour drive away from the office. As a manager, I managed a team, but it was commission only. So I had to actually get the sales myself to make a living. What I had to do as a manager is take her home. I had to get on a train for 3 hours, take her home, made sure she was safe. And what that meant is I sacrificed me earning money for that day. Although short term, me earning money, it's not good. I lose money. But in terms of long term, my team's going to look at me like someone they can trust, they can rely on. So that's a good example of doing stuff that's not in your best interest, putting your neck out for someone else. Let me give you another example. This is a funny one. So as a manager, I had to do day trips and road trips with the whole door-to-door sales team, go to a completely new place, get an Airbnb for a week, and just bang sales all week. So one time I had to go to Belfast. Okay, we used to leave on the Sunday so that we can get in time for Monday to get on the doors. So on the Saturday, just the day before I was supposed to leave, I broke my foot. I was coming back from an hour with my friends and I just completely shattered the side of my foot. Me having a team, I am responsible for them. It was super important, and I knew this, to not let my team down. I could not just call it off and say, okay, you guys just go on your own. What I did is I didn't have time to go to the hospital. I had to leave at 6 a.m. in the morning to get the ferry. And you can probably see here a little hiking walking stick, right? A little mountain walking stick. All I had is this, and someone at the train station gave me this. I was hobbling all the way to the ferry from Manchester to Liverpool so that I could leave my sales team. Went to Belfast, made sure I was there with them just so I could be respected, just so they know that anything happens, I'm there for them. I didn't want to go. Like, my foot was in agony. I had to go anyway. So this is a good example. The next one, this is super important, and not just for a manager, not just for a sales leader, but for a closer as well, for a sales rep. You've got to be shit hot on your numbers. Every single KPI metric, every single number you need to know, you've got to know it off the back of your hand. If you don't, as a manager, how are you expected to know what to improve? Door-to-door sales, if you don't know how many doors someone knocked on, if you don't know how many people someone spoke to in a day, if they got no sales, how do you know what it is? They could have just not spoken to anyone. Same with closing in the online high ticket space. They may be not closing any deals, but maybe the show rate's just nothing. Maybe they have a show rate of 10% and they're not even having any calls. So you're not going to know what to do, what diagnosis to make, and what solution to give if you don't know numbers. So starting off, track numbers on a individual level as a closer, then start doing it, going over them religiously on your own for your team. Super, super important. At the end of the day, whatever you don't track, you can't improve. It's as simple as that. The last one. This is a mistake I made in the door-to-door game. There is a fine line between a friend and a manager. You can't cross it. Reason being is, look, let's say you get too pally with someone, and this happened to me. You get too matey, let them off a fair few times, you just have too much banter with them. They're going to lose respect. Without them even knowing it, they're going to lose frame for yourself and going to lose respect for yourself. So every single time you tell them something, you give them advice, your word just decreases in value ever so slightly. So, of course, you want to have a good relationship with your team. You want to make sure that they respect you, but you don't want it to get to the point where they don't respect you and they're just a mate. That's when things start going downhill. That's pretty much it. That's the 4 main things that I learned when I was a manager for a sales team of 9 door-to-door sales reps and from helping coach hundreds of sales reps in the online space. Last slide. Adios. Bash.